Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game with over 10,000 cards, and with that many cards, some of them are bound to be. This list will go over cards that are playable in Yu-Gi-Oh! Coming in at number 10 is Ethernight from the EX Legend Maker set. Now I know this one isn't technically a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, but it was such a good fit I couldn't help but include it. First off, look at how cute he is. He's adorable. He also has a pretty nifty pokebody that causes attacks done by your Kanto fossils to ignore resistances. His only attack is Rising Lunge, which does 20 damage plus 20 more on a coin flip, which isn't the best, but his art is very cute, which does help counterbalance its less than ideal power. Next up at number 9 is A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon. Oh! It turns out it wasn't A to Z Dragon Buster Cannon at all, but it was actually Zoroark GX in disguise. I know that so far both of the entries on this list haven't actually been Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, but I promise it's just the first two. This Illusion Fox Pokemon is capable of such dastardly tricks. Zoroark GX was released in Shining Legends and has a useful ability which functions as pretty much trade-in on legs. Keep in mind that this is a soft once per turn, which can potentially enable some strong Exodius strategies if you're able to loop its effect. Its Trigger GX attack also lets you copy one of your opponent's monster effects, which can be a powerful tempo swing when going second. At number 8. This one's number 8. Psy-Framelord Omega is a level 8 synchro monster with generic materials, meaning plenty of decks can go into it easily, provided they have access to tuners. It has a powerful effect to quick effect rip a card from your opponent's hand, an effect so strong that it's currently limited in both the TCG and OCG. Now, at number 7 for real this time, Moki Moki. This was a close one as I wasn't sure whether to put Moki Moki or Metabat in this spot, but Moki Moki just about manages to clinch it. Moki Moki is a level 1 monster, meaning it can benefit from powerful generic level 1 support, such as 1-for-1 or Triangle Power. Unfortunately for Metabat, there's no comparable support for level 2 monsters, so Moki Moki manages to be a far stronger option for your deck. Next, at number 6, we have Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. This level 4 light spellcaster is a mandatory 3 of in any Sword Soul deck list, due to its ability to tribute itself to summon any Sword Soul from deck. Its Cyber Dragon-like summoning condition is just icing on the proverbial cake. Believe it or not, this character is the same person as Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous. She just found a hammer that had a slightly higher strength bonus, but a higher weight than her previous hammer, such that it would impact her mobility, so she had to switch to light armor in order to prevent her stamina depleting at a much faster rate. Coming in at number 5 is the Ace of Spades. Besides being one of only 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards to have a song written about it, this card has some amazing utility in Arcana Force decks, as well as Poker Night decks. It's kind of fallen by the wayside in recent years though, due to being power crept by the release of the 2 of Spades, which is pretty much the same as activating Ace of Spades twice. However, with the recently released Rescue Ace archetype, it may see more play due to specific synergy with that archetype. Number 4 on the list is Arsenal Summoner. This is a bit of a weird inclusion, but I think its effect is very interesting. On flip, this lets you add 1 Guardian card from your deck to your hand, except Celtic Guardian, Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress number 1, Winged Dragon Guardian of the Fortress number 2, Guardian of the Labyrinth, or the Reliable Guardian. However, you can still fetch plenty of other powerful cards such as Guardian Slime, Koikimeru Guardian, Firewall Guardian, or Guardian of the Golden Land. The number and variety of different targets for this effect make for one of the most versatile cards in the game, and when your opponent summons Mila the Temporal Magician to check your set card, they still won't be able to tell what deck you're playing. Number 3 is Dark Enchanter. This is a warrior junta effect monster, and its effect reads: gathering 5 of the Great Enchanter, left hand, left foot, right foot, and recovered Dark Warrior, limitless attack power can ruin all the enemy in 1 second. Its attack is infinity and its defense is infinite, which are pretty high stats, but its real strength lies in its intense synergy with Dark Master, which has limitless offensive force, so if you can summon both of these monsters, you can ruin all the enemy in 1 second. Next, the number 2 spot goes to Senzu Bean. This card seems fairly underwhelming on the surface. After all, the battle phase has been effectively dethroned as the primary method of interacting with your opponent, with cards like Mirror Force no longer packing the punch they used to, as well as the flopping of combat-focused archetypes like Warrock. However, Senzu Bean continues to remain relevant because of just how powerful it is. After all, your opponent only has 8,000 life points, so being able to give one of your monsters a 5,000 point boost gets you most of the way to lethal. Its second effect barely ever comes up, due to most decks foregoing energy cards altogether. However, the way it potentially enables even the most OTK-averse decks to find a path to lethal definitely earns it a spot on this list. And finally, the top spot on this list of Yu-Gi-Oh cards goes to Yaoi. No, not that Yaoi, I mean Yaoi. This card received some hype around release, as the memory of being Yata locked weighs heavily on the souls of many a duelist, and due to its draw skip effect, many suspected it would inflict upon them similar suffering. However, this card failed to meet the power level expected of it due to several factors, primarily a lack of decks which were capable of hand looping that could also reliably make use of it. Its awkward type, level, and attribute combination, as well as not having an archetype to call home, caused this Yatagarasu 2 to be dead on arrival. Alright, so that's the end of the video. If you think there are any other Yu-Gi-Oh cards, feel free to let me know in the comments. Bye bye!